Hi everybody, Alan Bestwick here answering your questions about the American men's basketball situation. How do I get inside that little mailbox? I'm not sure. But anyway, let's dig in because we've got some good ones this week. Mike on Instagram wants me to talk about teams bouncing back after tough stretches like UCF and UConn this week. Well, Mike, these are two very different situations, UCF and UConn. UCF has 9 new players on their roster this season, and it's been kind of a tough slog getting the puzzle pieces put together for Johnny Dawkins. But lately, the bench has been shorter, and who's playing what role and when is pretty well sorted. So the difference between winning and losing for the Knights has come down to the simplest of basketball basics: how often the shot goes in the basket. In the Knights' 2 wins last week, they shot 48% from the field against East Carolina and 57% from 3 against Tulsa. But in the prior 3 games, all losses, UCF shot 37, 38, and 35%. For UConn, the Huskies have been the kings of letting close ones slip away this winter late in games. But this past week, UConn went on the road and won at Tulsa for the first time ever, and then went home and beat Cincinnati in overtime. Now, I think this is a combination of hard work paying off and younger players figuring some things out. And now that UConn is over that hump, that barrier of can we win these things, I'd consider UConn a team you don't want to face in the conference tournament. Next question, Bobby on Instagram wants to know, how far can the Houston Cougars go after their big home win over Wichita State? Well, Houston was impressive Sunday against the Shockers. Not many times you'll see Greg Marshall's team just completely smothered like the Cougars did to the Shockers, especially in the first half of that game. Now, like everyone in the American, the road ahead is not an easy one for the Cougs. This week, they've got 2 on the road, at USF and at SMU, and they still have games against their closest pursuers in the standings, though they get both Tulsa and Cincinnati at home. Oh, and they've got Memphis twice and a road trip to UConn, too. Not an easy road for the Cougars toward the top seed in the conference tournament, but if they play like they did against Wichita State, the conference regular season title is theirs to lose. Next question, Jimmy on Instagram asks, who wants to grab those first-round buys in the conference tournament? Everybody keeps beating up each other. Well, Jimmy, what would you rather have? A conference with a dominant couple of teams or a group where every game's a fight and you never know how it's going to turn out? I'm loving how tough every game is and how important every game is coming down the stretch. So remember, the top 4 in the final conference standings get a first-round bye in the American Men's Basketball Championship, and history shows you need that bye to get any place in the tournament. After last weekend, the top 3, Houston at 9-2, Tulsa 7-3, and Cincinnati at 8-3. Then you have both SMU and Memphis at 6-4, with Wichita State right behind at 5-5. And everywhere you look in this week's schedule, there are games very important to that order. SMU and UConn Wednesday, Cincinnati and Memphis Thursday, Memphis and UConn, plus Houston and SMU Saturday. No way I'm picking who gets those top 4 spots, but they are important, and every game will be a difference maker down the stretch. Next question, Charlie from Instagram wants to know, with such a crazy weekend of results in the American, how does this shake up the outlook for NCAA tournament bids? Well, Charlie, I think it hurt a couple of teams' chances for sure. Top of that list, Tulsa. The Golden Hurricane fell out of first place in the American, and their net ranking, that NCAA formula that combines things like strength of schedule, home and road wins and losses, etc., has Tulsa down to 86. Tulsa's going to need to win the American Conference Tournament to get the automatic bid if they're going to go dancing. I like to look at Joe Lunardi's Bracketology from ESPN because of his track record of accuracy and the fact that he's one of the nicest people you'll meet in the business. Joe had 3 teams from the American in his field: Houston as a 7 seed, Cincinnati as a 12 seed, and Wichita State as a 9 seed before Sunday's games that saw the Bearcats and Shockers lose on the road. Barring a total collapse, the Cougars are in for an at-large bid if they don't win the conference tournament. Their net ranking is 29 right now. The rest of the picture, to me, is pretty cloudy. Cincinnati's ranked 46th, Wichita State 50th. How much do these teams beat each other up down the stretch? Does somebody else get hot? And if somebody else like a Tulsa, SMU, or UConn finds a way to win the automatic bid, I think the selection show is going to be a tough grind for a lot of teams. For now, I'll go with Joey Brackets and say 3 teams from the American will make it. All right, that's Ask Alan for this week. Don't wait till we ask you for questions. You got one? Send it in. We'll address it next time we see you right here.